Okay, there. Now I'm recording because this is actually very valuable. When you guys are drawing your side views and top views, and then you go to 3D model it, be prepared to realize it's not working because your elevation views are not right. You guys have all been taught how to do elevation views with your, dropping your lines down, and then getting your perspective, all that with the line so everything matches up. Correct?
Correct.
So you'll find sometimes that, oh, this form isn't doing what I expect it to do, um, because it's confusing. So when you're modeling it, step back and say, well, wait a second. When I try to make it look like this is what it looks like, but that's not what I expected it, or that's not what I wanted. So then the matter is, well, what did you want? Because top side views, like if I look at this right now, from a shading standpoint, if this is my bottom, oh, so that's wider. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm trying to orientate myself here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. Let me just give you a workflow. So my suggestion would be, kind of like we did again, is create that one profile that's going to happen. Now, if I look at this surface and I was to do a cross section through here, does this top surface here, is it flat or does it do this? Do you know, Roger?
Yeah, it's curved.
It's okay. Okay, so yeah, so what I would try is do your two profiles. And again, so in this situation, it's about leaving room for flexibility. I would do your profile at the back and your profile up at the front. And then draw that one curve that's going to give you that silhouette from front to back. That is kind of that. And the reason why I'm saying to do a curve front to back, or a curve at the front and a curve at the back versus just one, is when you look at this and you're developing the form, you may say, oh, I don't want it to be the same all the way across. I want it to be rounder at the back and less round at the front, because I like the highlights hitting me that way. With that, you can easily adjust this then. If you don't have that freedom, then you've got to go back and re-sweep it from the very beginning. So sometimes when I'm exploring forms, I like to give myself a way out. Even from a standpoint of, let's say we're going to sweep it. Even if Billy Bob says make that flat, I don't sweep a straight line. I don't use a line because I can't change the line. I will sweep a spline that is flat. And then later on, if someone comes back and says, well, that's, model's all done, I don't like that flat area. We're not hitting any highlights. I can go back to my spline and all I got to do is change the spline and give it a little curvature. I don't have to go all the way back and rebuild something different. That's also where you get to kind of play and see how things go. So I would get that first. The next is then, you're going to trim out that shape out of here. And from what I'm seeing, the way how this bows down is going to be a matter of how much this curves out and how much from a top view this profile does. But you want it, so if you're going to go flat here, so that gives us our nice clean surface. From a top view, then what you're going to do is you're going to project that and trim it out. And it's going to give you that whatever shape it looks good on yours. Your outline is much nicer than what I've got there. So this is this is going to have the dive down. What I would then do is I'm going to build this part separate, because it's going to, if we look at it, it's going to come out like that. So off of here, off this edge, I would build that surface separate. I view this as primary surface, secondary surface. So I need to build this one first, and that's how I'm always looking at things. Primary, secondary, tertiary. What do I need to build first? This is the most important surface. Without this surface, everything else means I'm interpreting your form, Roger. So you tell me, no, that's not the most important surface. This surface defines so much. Once I have this surface defined, then I'm going to create this surface. Once I create that, and I've got this shape here, what I can do is create what appears to be, it looks as if this kind of does this. Create that transition surface in there. And the way I would create the transition surface is, again, what am I going to do? I want to fill in. So I've got my surface up here. I've got my surface up here. Whatever. I'm going to trim out this surface. So I'm going to leave a gap there on this other surface that you created. And then I can do a loft, a swept, a blend to go from this edge here down to this surface where I've trimmed that out. So I'm cutting away and then filling it back in with what I want. And even here, I'd have like a small, if we zoom in, I could loft it. And then this is going to become one of my guide rails. That's going to become my other guide rail. And if I want, I could draw a curve in there, or I could start it off flat, put a control curve in there. There are a variety of different ways that you can play with it and tweak that form. That one, I might have to show you because I'm not doing a very good job of sketching it out, I don't think. But does it make somewhat sense what I'm saying?
What are you saying on it in the
How about this? Before the next class, when you're ready to sit down on it, either tomorrow or this weekend, do you want to get together and walk through this?
Yep.
Okay, what day is going to work good for you?
Not tomorrow. What day of the weekend are you thinking?
Anytime.
Sunday works.
Okay. Yeah, just send me, get as far as you can. Send me a meeting invite for Sunday. My Sundays are wide open, so just not in the evening though.
Okay.
So, and not at 7.
Yeah.
So, and then we can walk through that. In the meantime, I might be able to get something modeled up too for you to see, but I'd like you to kind of work on getting that form going. Yours is a little bit more complicated, to be honest with you.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, the homework has to do with 2 forms, one from each category, and we're doing this in CAD, right?
Yeah, lay down. The CAD doesn't have to be 100% complete. It's laying out some rough CAD surfaces.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling you today, Roger.
What do you mean?
You seem down.
Nope.
Eh? Angry? Confused? No?
All the opposite.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I'm off base today, baby. Awesome. Okay, yeah. And then if you need help while you're working on it, just ping me.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Chef, is that a quick question for you?
Yeah.
I was wondering, specifically some of my ones,